Sir, present, sir. Sir.
Start பண்ணுங்க சார்.
Oh, okay. Uh, Sorry for the delay of this program. Due to administrative reason, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, the busy schedule of today. So let us right now start the program. Welcome to scientists, faculty, research scholar, and students. Good afternoon one and a half person here. On of behalf of organized secretary of myself, Dr. S. Gandhi Vendan, Department of Statistics, Bharat University, Coimbatore, and also due to administrative reasons, Professor and Head Department of Statistics, Bharat University, Dr. Vijay Raman sir is right now is with the Vice Chancellor along with the meeting. Today, the virtual short-time training program, Data Science and Statistical Application during the held March 15 to March 22, 2021 first. This program is associated with PG and Research Department of Mathematics, Jamal Muhammad College, Autonomous, Tiruchirappalli. Now, Dr. Syed Ahmed, Faisal address. Dean, Brock University, Canada. Now the felicitation address, Dr. S. Ismail Mogidin, Principal, Jamal Muhammad College, Trichy. Welcome, sir. Now request to the given the felicitation address, Professor. Okay. Thank you, sir. Anything? Okay. Mic on இருக்குங்களா? Sir, welcome you, sir. Principal, Jamal Muhammad College, Trichy. Sir, Prashant sir is available?
Sir, varang sir. Sir,
Okay.
2 minutes.
Okay, sir.
Sir, one time.
Dr. RJ.
ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாம் சார்.
பண்ணுங்க சார்.
நீங்க பேசணும் சார். வெல்கம் பண்ணிட்டாங்க.
RJ,
நீங்க ஃபெலிசிட்டேட் பண்ணணும் சார்.
கால் பண்ணிட்டாங்களா?
Sir, welcome, sir. Sir, welcome, sir. Now I request felicitation address, Dr. S. Ismail Mogidin, Principal, Jamal Muhammad College, Trichy. Welcome you, sir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Most Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. P. Kaliraj in absentia, Bharatiyar University. Most Honorable Chief Guest Syed Ijaz Ahmed, Dean, Brock University, Canada. Respected Professor Dr. R. Vijay Raghavan, Professor and Head Department of Statistics, Bharatiyar University. Dr. S. Gandhi Vendan, Organizing Secretary, Department of Statistics, Bharatiyar University. Dr. R. Jahid Hussain, Organizing Secretary, Associate Professor, Department of Mathematics, Jamal Muhammad College. And I was told that around 2,200 members are going to participate in this program. First of all, I have to thank Professor Dr. Vijay Raghavan and Dr. Kandye Vendan for permitting Jamal Muhammad College to organize such a wonderful virtual short-term training program on data science and statistical application from 15/3/21 to 22/3/21 with the Bharatiyar University Department of Statistics. It is I have to thank the Vice Chancellor, head of the department, and the organizing secretary for giving permission to organize such a wonderful program under DBT Star College scheme. And Jamal Muhammad College is a aided college started during the year 1951 by Haji Janab Jamal Muhammad Saab and Khaja Mian Rautar, just with 250 students and 12 staff members. Because of the tireless work of the effort of the successive management committee members and the successive principals and staff members, now the college is having 12,045 students, and among 4,605 girls also benefiting from this college. And another important thing I want to emphasize is, in our college, as it is, around 500 research scholars are doing MPhil and PhD. And not only in the number of student and research scholars, Jamal excel in all the ways. And our unique feature of our college is we are not only providing higher education to the downtrodden people of this country, we are imparting there is moral education to all the students by designing exclusive syllabus for first UG, second UG, third UG and PG students. And I am very happy that our college is recognized by UGC with college with potential for excellence in two terms. And also 6 of our departments are funded by this DST under the FIST scheme. And I am very happy that 5 of our department are recognized under the DBT Star College scheme. And also we are retaining A grade accredited by NAAC for 3 consecutive times, and also secured 54th rank in NIRF. So and also our alumni association of Jamal Muhammad College is very strong, and throughout the globe we have 17 alumni associations, and as many of the members are participating in this short-term course or that is virtual short-term training program on data science and statistical applications, around 75 lakhs of rupees are sponsored by our alumni throughout the globe for every year for the present students of Jamal. So I am very happy that our alumni and our staff members are giving are supporting our present students, and we have all the infrastructural facilities and all other things. In our motto, the motto of Jamal Muhammad College is show us the right path. That is, Iraiva Engalai Nervadiyil Nadattuvayaga is the motto of our college. And similarly, the Bharatidasan University, where we are affiliated with, the motto of the Bharatidasan University is create a new brave world. Similarly, the Bharatiyar University motto is educate and elevate. So all these 3 collaborating, all these 3 higher education institutions are now imparting the training on data science and statistical applications. Statistics department is also very important, because without data analysis, we cannot conclude anything. Now we are in an election process. In that also, the data interpretation is more important. So in the current scenario also, the topic coined by Bharatiyar University and the Jamal Muhammad College Department of Mathematics is a very nice topic, that is virtual short-term training program on data science and statistical applications. I request all the participants to please interact with the persons, with the invited speakers, and get benefit out of them. Ultimately, all these seminars, conferences, short-term training programs, long-term program, and everything is for the benefit of the society. So I request the participants all over the globe to interact and participate fully, and definitely it will be utilized, it will be useful to the society. I wish the program a very good success and help to the universe. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Professor Gandhi Avendan?
Yeah, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Thank you
please
very much
proceed.
for your felicitation. That is very wonderful and enrich of for your futures data science and statistical application, and for your institution is associated with Bharatiyar University, and the collaborate with your esteem of institutions for your institutions, sir. Right now is the registration, the program, virtual short-term training program on data science and statistical application. The registration came from other countries, likewise Europeans, US, UK, Dubai, Libya, South Africa, Malaysia, Singapore, and Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. In around world is the participated different world, different situations. Now, uh, yes, sir. Now uh, uh, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Mm. Sir, Prasad, sir, Prasad, sir, Prasad, sir,
Sir?
sir is available. Prasad, sir
Sir?
is available. Sir, I am not hearing for your voice,
சார்
sir.
சொல்லுங்க சார்.
ஓகே சார். இப்போ
சொல்லுங்க
சையத் சார்
சார்.
இருக்காருங்களா சார்? ஆன்லைன்ல இருக்காருங்களா சார்? செக் பண்ணி சொல்றீங்களா சார்?
ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாம்
சையத்
சார்.
சார் இருக்காருங்களா சார்? ஆன்லைன்ல இருக்காருங்களா சார்? Can you check the Syed sir from Canada?
அவர்கிட்ட அவர் இன்வைட் பண்றீங்களா சார்?
Okay, sir. Professor, sorry for Professor. I apology for the inconvenience of situations. Now I request Dr. Syed Ijaz Ahmed, Dean, Brock University, Canada, has gloriously agreed to deliver the special address. Now I request Syed Ijaz sir. Professor, welcome you, Professor. Professor. Prasad sir, can you check the sarees available online or? Prasad sir.
Hello, sir.
So Sari's very engagement is Sari joined 10 o'clock at the local time, 1 midnight of 1 at the Canada times. So now right now I request Dr. Somasekhar sir that deliver the today lecture. Dr. R. Somasekhar sir received
Hello,
a
sir.
PhD.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning.
Okay, sir. I introduce, sir. Okay.
Yes.
Dr. J. Somasekhar sir received a PhD degree in computer science and engineering from Jawaharlal Nehru Technical University, Andhra Pradesh in 2017, and MTech degree from NIT, National Institute of Technology, Karnataka, Surathkal in 2010. He is currently working as a professor and head HOD at Computer Science Department, Gopalan College of Engineering and Management, Bangalore. He is an active resource person for AACT Atal Faculty Development Program, AACT Short Time Training Program, ISTE Faculty Development Program, etc. And has completed 13 sessions as a resource person across India. He got All India rank of 43 in the GATE Graduate Aptitude Test in Engineering exam with 98.4 percentile. He has more than 13 years of experience in teaching and 6 years of experience in research. He has published 16 research articles in leading journals, Science Direction and Scopus Index, Conference Proceeding, and 2 textbook chapters. He is having 120 citation with high index 5 for his research publication. He is the reviewer for 5 reputed international journals and session chair for 2 international conferences. He also received Innovative Collaborative Research Award in Medical Imaging for research collaboration with Dr. Ching Ho La, Director ITRI Taiwan by WRC in associate with United Medical Council. He conducted various faculty development programs, short-time training programs, conference, workshop as a convener. His current research interests including image processing, data science, machine learning, deep learning, and big data analytics. SAR is the very associate with several academic bodies, private and government bodies, the several committee members. Now I request Dr. J. Somasekhar sir given the special address on today right now sessions. Welcome you, sir. Once again, I welcome you, sir. Sir, Dr. Somasekhar sir. இப்போ வாய்ஸ் கேட்கலீங்களா? கேட்டுச்சிங்களா? ப்ரெசன்டேஷன் பண்ணுறது கேட்டு சார் Sir,
Sir, Somasekhar sir. Sir,
me, sir. Sir, Somasagar, sir. Dr. Somasagar, sir. Yeah, okay, sir. For your visible slide, sir. Welcome to special address, Dr. J. Somasagar, sir, from Bangalore. Sir, for your voice is audible, sir. Sir,
So now, can you hear me? My voice, sir.
sir, is clear, sir.
So, are you able to see full screen, sir?
Yeah, sir, stream is there.
If any issues, please inform, sir, because network issues here also we have.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay.
Okay, sir. So, good afternoon, everyone. So, already sir introduced about me. So, thanks for introduction. And coming to today's session, so my topic is linear regression model, in-depth intuition in data science and its application. So I'll explain in detail. So what is the applications of regression analysis, in which I'll explain derivation of linear regression model and how it is useful in data science and what are its applications in real world. And also I will show some of the research publications and how this linear regression model is efficient for prediction or forecasting. Even I will show one of the paper published elsewhere there. Used linear regression model for prediction of number of COVID cases. It may be infected people as well as number of deaths as well as number of recovery cases. All those things we will discuss by using linear regression model. So coming to data science, because whenever if you go for, if you want to become a data scientist, mathematics, probability, statistics, these plays a vital role. For example, if you want to start a data science course, first we have to go for basics of probability statistics as well as mathematics like linear algebra, calculus, etc. topics we require. Then only we can go for data science efficiently. Why means if we go for any algorithm in data science, it may be different classification techniques. It may be supervised technique or maybe unsupervised or maybe semi-supervised, etc. So these probability statistics concepts are very, very important. For example, if we take supervised classification technique, in which Bayesian classifier if we take, without Bayes theorem we can't do. So first we have to understand what is Bayes theorem, and based on that how we are going to develop Bayesian model. By using that, how we are going to classify the data. So that's why if you want to become data scientist, surely we should have in-depth intuition of all the mathematical concepts as well as statistical concepts as well as probability concepts. Then only you will become a data scientist, as well as you can solve the real life problems also. Otherwise difficult to do. Just by writing program we are using some logic, so it won't work. But we should know in-depth intuition what is happening exactly, and based on that how to develop a new algorithm or maybe how to enhance a algorithm which is already available. So based on that we can go for more accuracy. So coming to my section, today I'll explain what is machine learning, what is data science, just introduction. I don't want to go in depth because it will take more time. So first I'll give introduction. After that I'll go for regression models, and derivation also I will show how it is, what is a regression model and how we have to derive. Based on that how we are going to how we are going to apply for data set. Please mute. Yeah, fine. Now coming to today's agenda. First, we will see introduction of data science as well as machine learning. It's because machine learning is a part of data science. After that, regression analysis and applications, because regression analysis is a part of statistics. So we will see what is the concept and what are its application and how we are going to use for data sets in the real. And linear regression intuition. So I will explain how to derive linear regression model, and that we are going to apply for real life data set, and how we are going to predict or forecast the data based on the data set values. And we will see how to evaluate our model, because we know machine learning model or maybe any other model, but we have to evaluate, then only we can identify whether the model is more accurate or not. For that we should have some evaluation measures, so that also I will explain, because when you write a research paper, just completing our algorithm does not
Hello, sir. Sir, I think sir left, sir.
Gandhivandan sir. Sir.
Sir? Hello, sir.
Sir, still meeting due to network problems, sir.
Oh, maybe URL issues may be available, sir. Maybe.
Okay, sir.
Huh? Okay, sir. Sir, wait, sir. Okay.
Hello, sir. Sir, will the meeting continue or it will be postponed, sir?
Hello. Sir is presenting, but is streaming the problem is there. Somasandra side is very clear, sir. Is sir is end is very clear. Is presenting is there. Check it, sir, for your side. Prasad, sir.
So someone removed from the call, like that I'm getting message.
Okay, sir.
1 second.
Okay, sir. Right now is clear, sir.
Now again I'm opening, sir.
Okay.
Because
Sir.
I'm using my mobile data here, some network issues there.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
I think this agenda completed, na sir? Have you able to this one?
Aye, this is completed, sir.
This one's introduction.
Okay.
This I'll explain, sir. Now it's fine, na sir? Hello.
Sir, first slide only completed, sir.
Okay, sir. 1 second, sir. This one completed, no?
No, sir. Previous slide, sir.
This one I have to explain.
No, sir. Previous slide, sir.
This one not completed.
Yes, sir. Ajanta, today Ajanta, sir.
Okay, sir. I don't know, some network issue. Sorry, sir. So coming to introduction, so nowadays everyone talking about So in introduction, so nowadays we are talking about data science. Why means, so this data science is very useful for extracting knowledge from both structured data as well as unstructured data. Structured data means tabular form. For example, if we take employee details like name, maybe salary, address, etc. These are all structured data because we have to make tabular form. When you come to the unstructured data, images, maybe videos, etc. These belongs to unstructured data. Suppose let us assume we have weather data, let us assume, or maybe COVID-19 cases data last 1 month. So that is structured data. Maybe state, let us assume Tamil Nadu last 1 month, how many number of cases each day. So that is structured data. And by using this data science algorithms, we can predict the next tomorrow or maybe next week how many number of cases possible. And based on that prediction, we can go for further step. So that is the structured one. Or if we take medical field also, we have all the future of one patient. Based on that we can go for diagnosis, whether this person having cancer, whether this person having diabetes, etc. So that's why we need structured data for such type of classification. Suppose if we go for unstructured data, let us assume when I go for a doctor for checking whether I have COVID-19 or not, what he will do immediately will go for chest X-ray image or maybe microscopic image. So in which what happens after processing by using data science algorithms, so we have to classify whether the person having COVID-19 or not. That means here what we are using chest X-ray images or maybe other images. By using that we have to classify whether the person having COVID-19 or not. So that's why these data science algorithms are very powerful, because we can extract data from both structured data as well as unstructured data. Based on that we can go for conclusion. It may be diagnosis or it may be weather forecasting or maybe classification of some animals, etc. All those things we can do. And also here mathematical statistics like statistical methods, probability algorithm, probability models, and mathematics, linear algebra, calculus, all those things are involving, and because of that reason we can develop algorithms more efficiently, and based on that we can extract more information. And one more best example, a recommendation system. When you go for Amazon Prime or Netflix, etc. When you are watching some, let us assume, action movie, immediately you will get down the following movies are recommending to you. How it possible? Because of data science algorithms. So they will consider the reviews of the customers, and based on that reviews, automatically will get recommendation. So based on the fast reviews, that means they will look for similarity of the users. So I like comedy, and one more person also likes comedy. Whenever he completed some movie watch, that movie will automatically recommend to me. Why? Means both features are same. That means both similarities are same. So such type of recommendation also, data science algorithms are very, very powerful. Not only movie recommendation, even if you go for books recommendation, or if you are looking for some saree or maybe shirt or maybe pant in through online, you will get down. So these are the following shirts are recommending to you. Maybe I'm looking for t-shirt, so you will get all related t-shirts for recommendation. Or if you are looking for jewelry, all the jewelries related to that kind you will display in the website. So all these recommendations happen because of these data science algorithms. These are very, very powerful. That's why the income for online retail business increases 30 to 35% because of this only recommendation. That's why data science algorithms are very, very powerful. So there we have mathematics, statistics, probability, all those concepts are included. Now coming to machine learning. So obviously machine learning is a tool to extract knowledge. Of course, it's a part of data science, because deep learning, machine learning, all those things are subset of data science. In general, what happens when you come to the human, we can learn automatically from the experiences. What about mission? So mission also can learn how based on the data. So based on the past data, it will make a model. After making model, we can predict the future values. That's why I told, suppose last 1 month COVID-19 data I have. So based on that, mission will make a model. After making model, based on that, we can predict next week COVID number of cases, COVID-19 cases. So because of that reason, what happens? We can go for immediate action. So maybe tomorrow number of COVID cases are going to increase drastically based on the prediction of machine learning model. So we have to take immediate action. Maybe we have to arrange hospitality, or maybe number of beds more, etc. So that's why this mission also can learn based on the data. That's why we are talking about data, big data, etc. all those things. So that's why it will make a model. Automatically it will go for prediction of future data. So here you can see clearly what is the difference between traditional programming and machine learning. When you come to the traditional programming, let us assume C programming. In C programming, suppose I want to find sum of two numbers. What we have to do? First, we have to write a program for sum of two numbers. After that, I have to give input. Let us assume A value 3, B value 2. Then what output you will get? 3 plus 2, 5 you will get output. That means in traditional programming, we have to write a program. After that, we have to give input. Based on that, we will get output. One of the best example, C programming, sum of two numbers. Anyone can understand easily. That's why C exam. Any programming, Python or C++, Java, whatever it may be program. This is the traditional methodology. Input we have to give, and after execution we will get output. But when you come to the machine learning, we are talking about data science, in which machine learning is a part. So what happens in machine learning? We have to give input as well as output. Try to understand why we have to give input as well as output. Because whenever if I take, let us assume, so let us assume if we take here, I'm writing, let us assume we have a table like this. So here, let us assume, so medical data, let us assume this is one feature, let us assume BP, this is, let us assume some other feature, heart beat, etc. And finally we have class. Now based on this data, class is having diabetes, let us assume 1. So based on this data is not having diabetes, 0. 0 means no diabetes, 1 means he is having diabetes. Now this is the data. This data we have to give input. Here output also, this is output. This is the output class. So we have features of the person XY, let us assume maybe more than 2 features. I am assuming simple example, we will see later also further. So these are the features, maybe BP level and heartbeat level, and based on that we can classify the person having diabetes or not. And similarly 0 means no diabetes. Now coming to here, this is the input as well as output we are giving. After that, by using machine learning techniques, it will make a model. So let us assume we have to make a new model, so mathematical model. Now we have to give new input. Let us assume one new patient come for checking diabetes or not. We have to give input X value, Y value. Then automatically it will predict whether this person having diabetes or not. How? Based on the past data, already made a model, that means machine learning model, and whenever new patient coming to check for diabetes or not, so this input we have to give, and based on that it will predict automatically whether the person having diabetes or not. It may be 1 or 0. 1 means diabetes, 0 means non-diabetes. That means what is the difference here? In traditional programming, input we have to give, output you will get, but when you go for machine learning, we have to give input as well as output, then it will make a model. After making model, so that means program, here model is nothing but program. After making a program, again if we give input, it will predict the future value. That means whether this person having diabetes or not, this person having cancer or not, whether tomorrow number of COVID cases is 10, or maybe weather forecasting, tomorrow possibility for heavy rains or no. Like that type of prediction we can do based on this model. So that means we have input as well as output as a data. After that we have to make a model, that means program here. So based on that we can predict the future values. So that is the difference between traditional programming as well as machine learning. So we have huge number of data sets. So based on the training data set, it will make a model. After that we can predict the testing data. So we have machine learning problems. So classification. So classification means whether the person having heart disease or not, whether the person having COVID-19 or not, whether the animal is dog or cat, whether the student is pass or fail. So based on the data set, we have to train the data set. After that we have to give test data, then it will automatically classify. Now regression, we are going to talk about regression in depth intuition that I'll explain. So regression analysis is very, very useful and very, very powerful for forecasting. So if you want to go for weather forecasting, or if you want to go for a sale of a flat, or maybe sales, or if you want to go for economic growth of a country, or if you want to predict number of COVID-19 cases, or if you want to predict number of students going to pass in semester exam, all those things if you want to find, if you want to go for prediction or forecasting, we have to go for regression analysis. So in our session we are going to discuss in depth intuition of regression analysis, and I will derive also. So you can find little bit interesting when you go for derivation, all those things, especially those who are doing PhD or maybe those who are interesting to do projects, etc. For them it's very, very useful, so that you can make your own model, and based on that we can go for regression new models also. And clustering. So clustering, unsupervised classification, and based on the features we have to make a clusters, and each cluster indicates one data items, whatever it may be dog, cat, etc. And based on that we can classify. And dimensionality reduction. So here we have a data set, we have to go for reduction of dimension by using the principle of component analysis. Please mute. Hello sir, please mute.
Hi friends.
Hello, all are requested.
Hi friends. See you, bro. Hi friends.
So we have dimensionality reduction by using principal component analysis we can do, but in our session we are focusing more on regression analysis. So by using that, how we are going to predict the future values. These are the applications of machine learning. We have to go for image recognition, medical diagnosis, and stock market trading, online fraud detection. So email spam, that means whenever if we are getting mail, whether we have to predict the mail is spam or ham. Ham means not spam. So for such type of classification also we have to go for machine learning algorithms, even traffic prediction. So we have so many number of applications of machine learning. So by using that we can get more benefits. That's why I told when you go for recommendation system, so now people are getting, that means online business people are getting more than 30% income additionally because of that recommendation system that is developed by using data science algorithms. Now here we can see ML model. So we have a data set here. So we have a data set here. It may be structured data or unstructured data. We have to train training data. So after training data, we have to make a model. After making a model, we have to test the data. Finally, we can go for prediction. Of course, we have to do accuracy of the model also. If the accuracy is less, we'll try to tune, and based on that, we can make more accurate model. This is a basic machine learning model. By using that, we can go for prediction or we can go for classification. Now here we are talking about regression analysis. So we have supervised learning, unsupervised learning, semi-supervised learning, reinforcement learning. Like that we have different types of learning, but we are talking about regression which comes under supervised learning. So supervised learning means we have a data, we have to train the data. After training data, it will make a model. Then we can give new data that is called test data. Based on that, we'll get prediction. It may be classification. So in supervised learning, we have two types, regression and classification. So classification, it may be binary classification or maybe more than a multi-classification also possible. So by using Bayesian classifier or support vector recognition, etc., we can use. By using that, we can go for classification. But when you are talking about regression, what happens here? So classification means here we are going to go for, so either binary classification or categorical values we can go for classification. But in regression, the output is continuous value, that means real number. So let us assume, so here I am giving predicting the house prices. So we know last 3 houses, what is the square feet, how many number of beds, how many number of bathrooms, etc. And if you want to give new data, let us assume square feet, beds and baths, we can predict what is the price of the flat. So that means we can predict the flat price based on the input information, because we already trained the data and we have a model, and whenever we give new test data, automatically we will get prediction. So in this case, we have to go for regression. That's why we can call it as a, so this is a continuous data. So here we have not continuous data in classification. It may be categorical values or maybe binary classification. But in regression, we have a continuous data. Any value we can predict based on the training of the data. We are focusing on regression in today's session, and we will see how we are going to find the future value based on the training of past data. So regression analysis, just now we discussed. So by using regression analysis, we can make relation between dependent variable and independent variable. After establishment between the two variables, we can make a relation. So after that, we can predict the future value. So for example, let us assume here you can see x value, y value. So now x values are some values. Let us assume 1, 2, 3, and here 5, 6, 9. So let us assume. Now we have to, x is independent variable, y is dependent variable. Why? The value of y depends on value of x. That's why y is dependent variable, x is independent variable. Now we have to make relation between these two variables. After making relation between these two variables, that is called regression model. After that, when you give new input, let us assume x value 10 if we give, we can predict the outcome. So this outcome we are going to predict based on the regression model by using the past data. So that we will see how we are going to do. Maybe if we take some other data set, we have more than one independent variable. Let us assume x1, we have one variable here, x2 one more independent variable, x3, let us assume y is dependent variable. So here we have to go for multiple regression. Why? We have three independent variable, x1, x2, x3. Maybe let us assume number of, maybe let us assume day, maybe number of beds, or maybe number of recovery cases, and based on that how many number of COVID cases. Now similarly we have other data. Each day we have x1 value, x2 value, x3 value, and y value, how many number of COVID cases for last 1 month. So each day, so let us assume February 1st, February 2nd, like that. Each day we have data, and if you want to predict, let us assume March 16th, how many number of COVID cases, we have to train this data by using regression model. After that we can predict. So that means we have data set with one independent variable or more than one independent variable also possible. But here we have only one dependent variable, that is y. This value we are going to predict by using regression model. So that means final conclusion. So regression analysis makes relation between independent variables and dependent variables, and based on that we can predict the future value by giving the independent variable values. Here we have different types of regression. So we have linear regression. If you understood linear regression in-depth intuition, automatically rest of the regressions you can go. So that's why I'm giving in-depth intuition of linear regression with application, and based on that we can go for polynomial regression, multi-valued regression, random forest regression, decision tree regression, ridge regression. Ridge regression is a little bit extension of linear regression. Logistic regression. Logistic regression is for classification. So all these regressions you can understand easily once if you know basic idea of linear regression. In-depth intuition, not just like model and these are the values of AB. We should know what is happening exactly, and based on that how we are going to make a model, and finally how we are going to predict the final model, and how we have to forecast the values. That's why we are focusing more on linear regression model, in-depth intuition, and based on that we can go for other regression models also. So when you come to the linear regression model, we have simple regression and multiple regression. In simple regression, what happens? So let us assume y equal to a plus bx. So we will see later what is a, what is b, what is all those x, etc. Here x is independent variable, y is dependent variable. This is called simple linear regression because we have only one independent variable, and based on this value we have to take the dependent variable. If we go for multiple regression, we have more than one independent variable. Let us assume so a plus b1 x1, let us assume one independent variable, plus b2 x2 plus so on. Let us assume other independent variable. Here we have more than one independent variable, that means more than one x value, and we have to give these values, and based on that we can predict the y value. We will see how we are going to apply. So that means we should know basic idea of linear regression, and that we are going to extend for linear multiple regression whenever if we have more than one independent variable. When you are talking about data, we have a data set with more than one independent variable also possible. So in that case, how we are going to predict the value? So for that we require multiple regression, but the idea is same. Whatever we have one independent variable, that we have to extend for more than one independent variable, and based on that we have to derive regression line, and we have to find the constant values. Finally we can make a model. Here you can see what I explained so far. Simple linear regression you can see. So y equal to mx plus c. So our aim is to find so y equal to mx plus c value, I mean a model, and after that we can predict the y value for any new test data. So we have to first find what is m value, so what is c. After finding, we have to make a model, then we can go for forecasting. So when you come to the multiple linear regression, we have more than one independent variable. Here we have only one independent variable, that is called x, but here we have more than one independent variables. So like x1, x2, so on, xn. So these are all slopes. We know y equal to mx plus c is nothing but m is nothing but slope, and c is the constant coefficient. We have to find that values. That is very important. If you don't know the value of slope or constant c coefficient, then how can you make a model? So that's why our concept, we have to find these values, then only we can make a model. Finally we have to go for prediction or forecasting for the given data. Now here you can see the applications. We have so many applications. So for example, if we take, let us assume size in square feet. Let us assume if we take selling a price for a real estate agent. So we have a size in square feet and price. So let us assume 1400 square feet, price is so 24,500. Like that we have a house sales price prediction. Suppose if you have square feet is, let us assume 1900, what is the price? If you want to predict, what we have to do, we have to train this data. After making regression model, if we give this input, what price you will get? Let us assume so 34,000 approximately, let us assume. Like that, if you want to predict some values, we have to go for model, then we have to give this input, you will get outcome. And similarly, so let us assume here one more application, hours of study, exam score. So if we give hours of study, let us assume 9, we can find exam score, we can predict. And also if we have number of customers and burgers sold, so especially when you go for shops, so last 1 week we can see how many customers visited, and based on that we can predict next week, and we can make items accordingly, maybe burgers or maybe pizza or maybe any other items. Based on that we can make ready. Otherwise when suddenly the customers are more, we don't have that many items for selling, then we will face problem. So we will lose the customer satisfaction. So because of that reason, so let us assume so one day 798 customers, so number of burgers sold 440, I mean 444, maybe 450, 324. Maybe tomorrow I am expecting, let us assume so 700 customers. We have to identify how many possible burgers sold. So prediction, maybe let us assume 600. So these many we have to make ready, so that we will make customer satisfaction as well as our sales will improve. That is very important, so that I will also get benefit. Even maybe other application, if you want to find life expectancy, so for that also we can make a regression model and we can find. And maybe product price, economic growth, and housing sales that we already discussed. So maybe country economic growth, if you want to predict maybe coming year, maybe coming 10 years, all those things, so GDP, etc. we can go for regression model. By using that we can identify. So here I am showing one data set. So we have a sample data set. Later we will see how we are going to predict also. So when you take this data set, we have different independent variables. Let us assume this is one independent variable, this is one independent, like this we have different independent variables. So finally we have a prediction. So that means we have to test this data, and whenever if I am giving new data, we can predict the number of COVID cases. This is COVID data actually. So we have a country and area, and each day how many number of COVID cases, maybe number of people recovered from COVID, all those things information we have. I will show later in detail. So based on that, we have to predict the number of COVID cases for tomorrow, maybe next day. So in that case, we have to predict, and based on that, we can go for immediate action. Maybe we can improve number of beds, or we can improve the facilities, hospitality facilities, etc. So like this type of data sets, we have structured data sets. After making regression model, we can predict the future value. So if anyone looking for COVID-19 data set, so you can go for this website. So our world in data, you can find each and every day updation. Suppose if you open this coronavirus source data in the our world in data set, we can find up to yesterday number of COVID cases for each country, not only India, entire world, each country how many number of cases lost up to yesterday. So because of that reason, we can predict the future values. We can forecast the future values. So that's why when you go for research, if you want to make a regression model, we should have data set. So take this data set, maybe we can develop regression model country wise also, no issue. So maybe a number of prediction of COVID number of cases in India, or maybe prediction COVID number of cases in Tamil Nadu, or prediction of number of COVID cases in maybe Malaysia. Like that we have country wise also you can do, or in which country wise you can go for state wise also you can do. But all this data available in this website, our world in data, and take that data and we can make any model. So based on that, we can publish paper in good journals. Now acceptance ratio also more, because of they are looking for COVID-19 papers. So you can go for this data set for accurate data about COVID number of cases, as well as deaths, as well as number of recovery cases. All those details you can find. It's a Excel sheet. There you can find entire data, that is structured data. So like this here, even you can go for this is also from that Google and data set. So they are also available same data set. So country wise we have data. So this is a data set. Just we will see how we are going to apply our regression model for these data sets. Now here we need small concept here. So of course this is a basic idea, but based on this basic idea, we will see how we are going to make a regression model. So let us assume we have a data. Let us assume X independent variable, Y dependent variable. So X is age, let us assume Y is pages. So what happens whenever if I go for regression model, I mean best fit regression line, we have to make a scattered diagram or scattered plot or scattered graph. Then we have to see which is the best regression line, and based on that we can predict the future value more accurately. So we can go, one person can do one regression line, but we have to look for which is the best regression line. That is very, very important. We are looking for more accurate regression line. You can find infinite number of regression lines, but all are not that much accurate. We have to look for regression line which is more accurate for future values. So for example, let us assume, so actually number of cases are 500, let us assume. So one regression model predicts 300, one regression model predicts 400, one regression model predicts 495. So 495 is very close to 500. This regression model is more accurate when compared to rest of the regression models. Like that we can make infinite number of regression lines, best regression lines, but which is the best one? So 490 is very close to 500. So based on that we can say this is the best. But the question is, how can I find this one? That is the main concept. Now we will see how we are going to find that best fit regression line, and based on that how we are going to find the future values. Now here we have a scatter diagram. Let us assume age is X, that means X axis we have to take, Y is dependent variable, we have to take Y axis. Now X value 14, so corresponding to value is 40. So 21 corresponding value is 45. Next 33 corresponding value is 92, like this. So we have X value and corresponding Y value. So suppose if I have my X value is, let us assume 75. Now I want to predict Y value. So somewhere here we how to predict this data point. So this data point I have to predict because I want to predict how many number of pages for corresponding to the age 75. So that means we have to forecast this data. How it possible? We have to make a best fit regression line. So based on that we can predict the data point corresponding to the X value 75. So now we will see how we are going to predict Y value corresponding to X value after making a best fit model. Now here you can see, so you can see these diagrams, you can understand clearly. So this is the actual data, weight, size. So these are the data points. So corresponding to this weight, what is the size? 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 Now let us assume this is the best fit regression line. So I'm assuming so far we don't know what is best fit regression line. I'll explain how to derive also. Now what happens, this is the line I'm making. Suppose somewhere here x value, weight is, let us assume 50. What is the size? So that means this data point I have to predict. Maybe let us assume somewhere here this value x value, I want to predict the size. That means this value, this corresponding value. So that means if we have best fit regression line, automatically we can find the prediction or forecasting value of size. So that means we have to make this best fit regression line, and based on that we can find the size corresponding to the weight. Here you can see somewhere weight here, and this is the size. So here this is the data point. That means this is the size corresponding to weight. Now the question is, how can I only this, maybe one can assume this one, or one can assume this one, or one can assume this is the size, but how can I make this best regression line, best fit regression line, and this data point how can I identify? That is the question. Because one student, suppose I am assuming like this, someone will assume like this data point line, then here you will get data point. So corresponding to the weight, and some student will assume, or some person will assume like this, then here this data point will get corresponding to this weight, then which is correct? So that we don't know exactly. So that's why we have to make best fit regression line. Based on that we can predict more accurate data for forecasting or prediction. If we more accurate means people will believe, okay, this model is giving more accurate. Suppose instead of 400 it is giving 398, means it's very good, because only two difference, one or two difference, it make a much difference. So that's why we have to make a best fit regression line, and we have to find the independent variable value for giving input there, then we can find the dependent value. So this is the one simple data points and regression. These are the data points, black color all data points, and this is the regression line I made. But someone can assume like this regression line also. Suppose if I make this regression line, suppose this is the x data point, x value, then we can find this is the hello sir. Sir. Up to what time, sir? Can I complete? Yeah. Then I will stop this session to 1:45, 2 o'clock, sir. No, this session I will stop 2 o'clock around. This I will stop 1:45 around 2 o'clock. Then next session will go for 3 o'clock. Yeah. Are you attending this session also? You are attending? Yeah, because any disturbances regarding connecting subjects, sir. Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sorry for disturbance. Yeah. Now here we can see we have a data points, we have a line of regression. We will see how to make this line of regression. Whenever if I give some x value here, let us assume here 50 or 60, and corresponding y value is this one. So how it possible? If you make a line of regression, if you don't make a line of regression, so here someone can assume, here someone can assume, here someone can assume corresponding y value. But we don't know which is the accurate. Because of that reason, we have to make a best fit regression line. After that we can assume, so this is the more accurate data point corresponding to x value. So that we are going to find. Now here you can see, so whenever if I take let us assume, so let us assume we have x value, y value, and this is actual value, this is predicted value. So let us assume x value 1, y value 2, predicted value is 1.5. Let us assume x value 2, y value 5, predicted value is 4. So I am giving simple data set, you can understand. So this is the actual outcome. So when x equal to 1, y equal to 2, when x equal to 2, y equal to 5. But this is the prediction. So my model predicted 1.5, and instead of 2, 4 instead of 5. So that means what is the error here? 2, 1.5, difference is 0.5, that is called residue. And 5, 4, what is the difference? 1 error, and here error is 0.5. So now our aim is to minimize that error. Instead of 1.5, is it possible better? Maybe 1.9. 1.9 if you take, it's very close to 2, then that is the best accurate. If you take 4.9, which is very close to 5, that is more accurate. So that means we are looking for improvement of this prediction value. So for that, what we have to do is,
ஆனா கடைசியில பார்த்தா அந்த மாதிரி அமௌண்டே இல்லை சேலரியா. உங்களுக்கெல்லாம் ஸ்டார்டிங்ல
Please mute, sir.
நீங்க ஜாயின் பண்றதுக்கு முன்னாடி
Please mute it, sir.
அங்க கோபி சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தாப்ல உங்களுக்கெல்லாம் தமிழ்.
And now our aim is to find predicted value which is more accurate. That means we have to minimize the error. You can see the data points. So this is the estimated data point. This is the actual data point. This is the estimated data point. This is the actual. You can see the difference. Some error is there. So obviously, suppose if you take this one, you can see predicted data point, actual data point almost the same. That means 5 may be predicted value, actual value also 5. So this is more accurate. But when you compare to here, so let us assume this estimated value is 4, actual value is 5. That means difference is 1. So maybe actual value is 4, estimated value is 6. So difference is 2. Now our aim is to minimize this error. That is the concept. What we have to do, whenever if we estimate some data point which is very close to actual data point, then our model is more accurate. But here you can see the difference. Obviously we have a difference. But when you come to this data point, the difference is very, very less, almost equal. So then you will get more accurate. But this same thing we have to maintain for other data points also, other predicted data points also. So that means our aim is to minimize this error, that means residue, in such a way that we can make more accurate model. So now how we are going to minimize? That is the question here. Now we will see in what way we are going to minimize the error and how we are going to make best fit regression model. Now like this we have, whenever if we have a data points like this, we have a CGPA and GRE score. So these are the data points corresponding to CGPA. We have so many data points here, and now we have to predict GRE scores corresponding to CGPA. Let us assume 10, or maybe let us assume 8.5, etc. Now let us assume one may assume this regression line. If I make this regression line, whether this is best fit regression line, because regression line y equal to a plus bx, I am assuming here x is nothing but independent variable and b is a slope and a is a coefficient, so intercept here. Now how to make this best fit regression line? Our aim is to find this best fit regression line, but here this is the regression line I am assuming. Someone can assume like this also, someone can assume like this also, someone can assume like this also, someone can assume like this also. You can see infinite number of regression lines available, but which is the best regression line? Like this you will get. So we have number of regression lines, infinite number of regression lines, straight lines here we have. So but which is the best fit regression line? So for that what we have to do is, so here we have, this is the predicted data point, this is the actual data points, and this is the predicted data point, this is the actual data point, like that, predicted actual. So predicted actual, what we have to do is we have to see the difference, and this difference we have to make minimum. That means, so difference is, let us assume D1, this difference, next difference is D2, next difference is D3, etc. But here what happens, here positive difference, so here negative difference. So because of that reason, when you make sum, obviously 0, then it does not mean that our model is perfect. That's why what we have to do is we have to make a square, D1 square, D2 square, D3 square, so on. That means the sum of squares of residue should be 0. That means sum of squares of error, or we can call it as a residue. This should be minimum. Whenever this should be minimum, then that is the best fit regression line. I think you understood the concept here. So we have a actual data point and predicted data point. So whenever we have actual data point, predicted data point, the difference we have to minimize. So for that what we have to do is we have to make sum of all these differences with squares. Why we have to make square? If we make sum as it is, here positive, here negative, here positive difference, then when you make sum it becomes 0 sometimes, then it does not mean our method is more accurate. Because of that reason we have to make a square. When you make a square, what happens? Positive square is positive, negative square also positive, then we can identify actually how much error we have. Otherwise difficult to identify. Because of that reason we have to make sum of squares of error. That means that we can call it as a summation y minus yp. So y naught, let us assume actual data point, yp is predicted data point, this square we have to minimum. Whenever if we minimum this, then that is the best regression line after minimizing the error. So now our aim is to minimize the sum of squares of error in such a way that we can find more best fit regression line. If you are not going to minimize, then one can assume like this. We have infinite data regression lines like this. Then which is the best regression line? We don't know. Because of that reason, we will try to minimize the sum of squares of error. If we minimize the error, then that is the more accurate regression model, and based on that we can predict the future value. Now here you can see this is one person assuming this is the best fit regression line. Now what is the sum of squares of error here? 28. And one student assuming this is the best fit regression line. What is the sum of squares of error? 22. One student assuming this is the best fit regression line. What is the sum of squares of error? 24. Out of these three, which is the best fit regression line? Because here sum of squares of error is 28, here sum of squares of error is 22, here sum of squares of error. For same data set, we have data set is 1, but we have different regression lines. I am giving 3 regression lines. In 3 cases, the error is sum of squares of error is 28, 22, 24. So 22 is the less sum of squares error. That's why this is the best fit regression line. So why this is the best fit regression line? We have sum of squares of error is less, so that's why we can make it as a this is best fit regression line, and based on that we can find the value of y corresponding to any new x value. So that's the concept I think understood. What we have to do, our aim is to make sum of squares of error should be minimum. Once if we make a sum of squares of error is minimum, we can make a best fit regression line, and based on that we can predict future values easily. If I give new x value, let us assume here, we can find y value more accurate. If we give new x value here, we can find more accurate y value, so that the data the regression model is more efficient, and we can utilize for future data also. Suppose if we take this regression model, here you won't get that much accurate. For example, if we take actual data value is 5, but this method will predict only 4. So, but here actual data point value is 4, but this 5, then this method will predict 4.8. Why? The error is less, that's why 4.8 is very close to 5. So that's why this is the best fit regression line. So final, what is the conclusion? While making best fit linear regression or any other regression, make sure that sum of squares of residue should be minimum. Then we can make a best fit regression line. For that, by using that, we can find the future value more accurate. So same thing. So now this is the linear regression. I am assuming y equal to linear regression line, y equal to a plus bx. Now a plus bx is nothing but prediction. So, and this is the actual data point. Now what we have to do? So this difference we have to make minimum. What I explained so far, sum of squares of residue should be minimum, and based on that we can make perfect regression line. This is the perfect regression line. You can see this red line. So this is a perfect regression line. Y means we are minimizing the sum of squares of error, and we can find the value of y, or we can make the model y. Now the question is, we know y equal to a plus bx is a regression model, but how to find a plus ab values? If you know ab values, then only we can make a model. Now our aim is to find AB values. So what is the concept we apply for finding AB values? Residue should be minimum. Not only residue, the sum of squares of residue is minimum. That's why I explained all this in detail. Intuition, sum of squares of residue minimum. Based on that we can find the values of AB. Then we will get a perfect regression model. Now residue is nothing but y minus a plus bx. A plus bx is our prediction, y is the actual data point. Now this difference should be error, that is called residue. Now we have to make sum of squares of residue should be minimum. For each data point we have to calculate the difference and square, that should be minimum. That's why we have to look for entire data set. So that's why summation y minus a plus bx whole square should be minimum. So that means y minus a plus bx whole square is nothing but sum of squares of residue, and this value should be minimum. Whenever this value is minimum, then we can find exact y equal to a plus bx value. Now how to minimize this? We studied in lower classes in calculus, whenever the function is minimum, so slope should be 0, first derivative. Here how many parameters we have? 2, a comma b. Now we have to minimize this sum of squares of residue. For that we have to find AB values in such a way that first derivative should be 0. Derivative means here partial derivative. Because of two constants, two independent values, we can't go for ordinary derivative. That's why we have to go for partial derivatives. So now we have to minimize. How to minimize? So dou e by dou a equal to 0, dou u by dou b. E is nothing but sum of squares of residue, and AB are nothing but constant. Our aim is to find these two values. Once if we find AB values, then automatically we can make a regression model, and based on that we can find the prediction of future value. Now we have to minimize. So this is the concept of calculus. In calculus, what we studied, whenever f dash x equal to 0, we can find the stationary point. Then we have to make the function is maximum or minimum. Like that we studied in lower classes. But we are looking for minimum. So for that, make first derivative equal to 0. That means partial derivative, and make first order partial derivative 0 with respect to ab, because we are looking for these two values. Now dou u by dou a equal to 0. This is the basic partial differentiation. So we know x square partial differentiation is 2x. That's why 2 into summation of this value into, with respect to a, what is the coefficient of a? Minus 1. So that's why minus 1. Now this 2 constant we can shift this side so that it becomes 0. Now simplification, summation y minus summation a minus summation bx. Now summation y equal to, summation a is nothing but na. I am assuming n data points like 1, 2, 3. We have n data points in the data set. That's why I am assuming summation a is nothing but na. That means we are making a plus n times, because of n data points I am assuming in the data sets. That's why you will get na. So that's why equal to na. This summation a is nothing but na. We are making some a n times. That's why you will get na. Minus plus, because if you shift this side it becomes plus b summation x, because b is independent of summation, we can take outside, so that we got one line, that means one equation. Now one more, by using dou u by dou a equal to 0, we got one equation. Now again by using one more equation, dou u by dou b equal to 0, you will get one more equation. So again same partial differential equation, dou u by dou b equal to 0, same. So because coefficient of b is x, that's why you will get minus x after partial differentiation. After simplification you will get one more equation. So finally we got two system of equations by using which we can find AB values. So why we have derived these things? Because we should know AB values. How we have to find AB values? The regression line should be perfect. That means best fit regression line. That's why what concept we are applying? The sum of squares of residue should be 0. Because of that reason, we are getting more accurate two system of equations. By using, we can find AB values. So that's why I explained all graphical representations. Based on that, we minimized the sum of squares of residues, and based on that, we got AB values by solving these two system of equations. Here you can see after simplification of equation 1 and 2. So here what we have to do, multiply 1 with summation x. What I am doing here, multiply this equation with summation x, and so that this summation x na, here multiply with n, this will get cancelled, so that we will get b value. So just to say general simplification. If we have calculator also, we can solve 1, 2 equation, we can find directly AB values. And after simplification, we got b value, b equal to this one. This is nothing but covariance of xy by variance of x. So in statistics, we know what is the covariance of xy. So summation x, summation y by n into summation of x by n. But nn will get cancelled. That's why numerator is covariance, denominator is variance. Actual covariance formula is expectation of xy minus expectation of x into expectation of y. This is the covariance formula. So by using that, after simplification, actually here denominator will get n, denominator will get n, both will get cancelled. So that's why we'll get covariance of x by variance of x. So if you refer any textbook, any material, no one will derive all those things. Directly they will give the value of b is covariance of x by variance x. How we got this? That's why we discussed all these mathematical intuition. Now you will get idea. Same thing we can apply for multiple regression. Same thing we can apply for ridge rejection and other types of regressions. And you can make your own model. And based on that, we can go for forecasting. Now we know b value. Now substitute that b value in any one of the equations. We can find a value. So here we can find. So a equal to y bar minus bx bar. So finally we know what is b value, what is a value, and if you are not writing this also, no issue. Directly if you substitute these values, you will get b. Or if you want to write in a statistical model way, so covariance of xy by variance of x. We know what is covariance and what is variance. And finally we got ab values with the help of the concept sum of squares of residue is 0. Here we have mathematics, we have statistics, as well as simple linear algebra concepts by simplification of system of equations. Now substitute AB values, finally we can find regression line. So y equal to a plus bx. So that means you will get like this, y equal to, let us assume a value is 2, b value is, let us assume 4, so x, like this. This is the final regression line after identifying AB values for the given data set. Now if I have, let us assume x value is 10, substitute x value. So 10 into 4, 40 plus 2, 42. That means corresponding value of y is 42 for corresponding x value. Like that we can predict the future value. So finally, we know how to find AB values for the given regression, linear regression line y equal to a plus bx with the help of sum of squares of residue is minimum. I think now we understood where we started. We started with the data set. After that, we started with scatter diagram, and we discussed how to make a scatter diagram for data set. Then we discussed what is the error for actual data point and estimated data points, and how we made best regression line by using the concept of sum of squares of residue is minimum. By using that, we derived the equations from which we got AB values. Finally, we got the regression line y equal to a plus bx. We know how to get AB values also. With simple example I am giving, it's very simple. Once if you know these equations, then we can substitute all these requirements directly, we can find AB values. Now, for example, if we take x values and y values, so these are the x values and y values, and we want to find the regression model. You can see here, substitute all the values, make summation y, because here we require these things, summation y, summation x, all those things. So substitute all the requirements. So summation x, summation y, all those things. So a value is nothing but here 0.9324, b value is 0.3808. Substitute in the regression line y equal to a plus b, ax plus b, you got regression line. So this is the best fit regression line. How can you say this is best fit regression line? We applied sum of squares of residues is minimum. That's why we can say this is the best fit regression line. Better than that, you can't find any regression line, because we find calculated a and b values based on the concept of error is minimum. So that's why this is the best fit regression line. Suppose if I give x value is 10, we can find y value. We can forecast y value. If I give x value is 20, we can forecast y value. So for that forecasting or prediction, we can use this regression model. Now here you can see for this data set, whatever data set we are assuming x value, y value, and this is the regression model what we got based on our concept. Now you can see here a scatter diagram. All the data points, this is our predicted regression line. All the data points are very close to our regression line. That means this is the best regression. Suppose if some students are assuming like this regression line, can you see these are the actual data points and our data points are here. See how much error we have. But here what happens, our data point here, our data points, predicted data points and actual data points are black color, which is very close. So that means here this is the predicted data point, this is the predicted data points, this is the predicted data point, this is the predicted data point. You can see these are very, very close to the actual data points. That's why this is the best fit regression line. Suppose if you are assuming like this regression line, what happens? So this is the predicted data point, this is the predicted data point, then you can see the error. We have a little bit more error when compared to this regression line. So because of that reason, this is the best fit regression line. Now what is the conclusion? If you want to find y value corresponding to 9, here 9 value, so you will get somewhere here. So corresponding to 9, the value is 8.5. So which is the more accurate when compared to any other regression. Or if you want to find the value of 5, maybe you will get like this. So corresponding value of x for 5 is some value 4.5 like this. Maybe if you want to find some 2.5, you will get here somewhere. Like that we can predict any data point value based on this regression model. Just we have to put x value, we can find y value. So that's why this is the best fit regression line. Now the question is how to evaluate. So for that we will see evaluation model. I think understood clearly. Of course I will give I will show one research paper how we are going to apply this linear regression model for prediction of COVID-19 cases. I think clearly understood what is the regression model in-depth intuition and how to make a model, and based on that how to find the y value, and which is the best fit regression line. Y means which is minimizes the error when compared to the other regression lines. Now we have to find, yeah, come one second, what do you want? You can take any faculty, no issue, I have class. Sorry. Yeah. Now we have to evaluate the regression model, whether my regression model is perfect or not. So for that we have different measures. So one is mean square error. What we are going to do here, let us assume actual data point is 5, predicted data point is 6. Try to understand. Actual data point is 4, predicted data point is 5. What we have to do, we have to make a difference. So after that make square and make sum divided by number of data points. Whenever MSE value is, let us assume, less, then we can say the method is more accurate. Let us assume we have 2 regression models. One student made one regression model, let us assume R1. One more student made one more regression model R2. This MSE is 0.6. This MSE is 0.2. Then which is the best regression model? R2. Why? Here the mean square error is very less. That means the actual data points as well as predicted data points are very, very close. Because of that reason, the mean sum of square or mean squared error is very less, 0.2, when compared to the R1 regression model. So that's why whenever if you are using different regression model for one data set, let us assume while doing research or maybe while making research paper, we have different regression model for same data set we can apply. So we have a data set, let us assume structured data set. So let us assume I am assuming X is one regression model, Y is one more regression model, Z is one more. 3 regression models I applied. So here mean square error is 0.4 and here 0.1, here 0.6. That means after applied 3 regression models, 0.1 is the less value when compared to rest of the 2 regression models. Hence finally we can say this Y regression model is best for the given data set. Because of that reason, we have to evaluate the regression model. So that's why we have to use mean squared error is one of the best measure. By using that, we can say this is the best regression model or not. So how it possible? By comparing with other regression model. Just with one regression model finding MSE, it won't make much conclusion. So that's why if we compare, or maybe if the MSE value is very, very low, like 0.1 or 0.1, 0.001, etc. In that case also this is the best regression line. Here n indicates number of data points. That means number of rows in a data set. If we have a data set with 10 rows, n is nothing but 10. If we have a data set with 100 rows, n is nothing but 100. And YA is nothing but actual data set, actual data point. YA cap is nothing but predicted according to our regression model. So this is one of the evaluation measure, and we have one more important evaluation measure, so that is called R squared. This is also very, very important. R square is nothing but, so R into R. R means correlation coefficient. Correlation coefficient we studied in statistics. So correlation coefficient measure of so 2 variables. So whenever correlation coefficient is 1, then there is a perfect relation between 2 variables. That means perfect positive correlation, perfect negative correlation. Like that we have different types. So I'm not going in depth of correlation coefficient, but we know how to find the correlation coefficient. So R value is nothing but covariance of xy by square root of variance of xy and variance of y. So this is the formula for correlation, square root of variance of x, square root of variance of y. That formula we know, we studied in lower classes. So we have to find R square value. Multiplying correlation coefficient twice, you will get R square value. Whenever you can see these diagrams, whenever R square value is very high, that means let us assume 0.9. So we know 1 means perfect correlation. Suppose 0.9 is R square value, which indicates that there is a best regression line for regression fit line for the given data set. Here you can see whenever if I take high R square value, let us assume 0.9 or 0.98, the actual data points are very, very close to the predicted data points. You can see here the line indicates predicted data points and other data points indicates actual data points. And whenever if we take high R square value, the error is very, very low. If we take low R square value, the error is very more. See here, this is the actual data point, our predicted data point here. So because of that reason, always look for high R square. Maximum value is 1. 1 means 100% correct. 0.9 means 90% accurate. 0.8 means 80% accurate. That's why we have to find R square value, and based on that we can say whether our regression model is perfect or not. You can see here R square is 0.9. So all the data points are very close to the predicted data points. R square is 0.07. Our predicted data points nowhere close to the actual. These are the actual data points. These are the predicted data. Nowhere correlated. So because of that reason, this regression model is not good. But this is very good. Why R square is 0.9? That means the actual data points and predicted data points are very close, which shows that our model is a perfect model for our data set. Here you can see R square is 1. R square is 1 means that is the best. No model will replace that model, because R square equal to 1 means 100% accuracy. You can see both predicted data points as well as actual data points are overlapped. That means both are equal. So that means actual value is 4, predicted value also 4. Actual value is 5, predicted value also 5. Actual value is 10, predicted value also 10. Because of that reason, whenever R square equal to 1, that is the perfect regression model and no model will replace. Hence we can fix for the data set. So it may depends on the data set. For my data set, R square is one, my regression model, hence that is the perfect regression model for our data set. So that's why always R square value should be high. So based on that, we can say that is the best fit regression line. Now here also you can see, so here R square value is 0.99, that means almost 1. Because of that reason, actual data points and predicted data points are lies on the same regression line. Because why both are almost same? Because the R square value almost equal to 1. So here we have 6 data points and all 6 data points are very close to the actual data points. So when you go for prediction also, obviously you'll get 100% accuracy. If you want to predict y value corresponding to 20, so you can find accurate value. If you want to predict 25 y value for corresponding to x 25, we can get 100% accurate value. So in that case, this is the best fit regression line because R square is 0.9, that means equal to 1 almost. So that means always we have to look for R square should be high so that error is very low. And ridge regression, same thing as the linear regression, just we have to add the error term. Whenever the MSE value, R square value is lagging, that means R square is low, MSE is high, then we have to add error term for making more accurate. That means we have to tune linear regression, that is called ridge regression. Now I will show how linear regression is applicable for real life application. You can see here. So predictive modeling of COVID-19 confirmed cases in Nigeria. So here the intention of this paper is we have a data set of Nigeria, and based on that data set we have to make a regression model, and based on that we have to predict the future COVID number of cases. So these people are applying linear regression model. Maybe we are thinking linear regression is very simple, so whether it is more accurate or not. So these, see, so many authors worked on this paper, and finally they showed very high accuracy with linear regression model. So see, you can see here they apply linear regression model, y equal to x beta plus x epsilon, that means a plus bx. So they are assuming different notation, I mean different symbols, but meaning is same. In place of a plus bx, they are assuming x beta plus epsilon. So maybe they are applying multiple linear regression because maybe the number of independent features or independent variables are more. In that case, they are assuming multiple. That means they are applying linear regression model whenever we have only one independent variable. Whenever there is more than one independent variable, they applied multiple linear regression model. Now we will see how much data accuracy they got. You can see here, after applying this linear regression and multiple regression for the data set, so what they got, actual confirmed cases on April 5, 2020, 232. But prediction according to the linear regression model, what they got, 231. That means the difference is only 0.5. This is one best. And if you take April 6, actual confirmed cases are 238. But what they got, 240, almost close. Same thing. These are the confirmed cases and this is a prediction. So that means the confirmed cases prediction almost same, maybe plus or minus 1. Obviously, we can predict the future values more accurately. Now I can predict what is the number of COVID cases tomorrow, March 16 or March 17 in India, or maybe March 18th in Tamil Nadu. So based on that, we can go for immediate action. Suppose in March 18th, the number of COVID cases are maybe drastically increasing. Immediately, now only I can take action. Now only I can arrange number of beds more, or maybe I can arrange more hospitality, etc. I can do. Based on that, we can give more satisfaction to the patient and we can minimize the number of cases immediately. So because of that reason, we have to predict. And also we can see here, what is the R square value these people got? High R square. What is the R square value these people got here? You can see here, R square is 97%, 0.97. Just now I told, whenever R square is 1, perfect. R square is 0.97. This is also very good because almost close to 1. So that's why by using linear regression model also, these people got very best prediction for the COVID-19 data set with R square value is very high. That's why I told high R square value will always give the best regression model, and these people got 97% accuracy. So we are thinking like linear regression model simple, but these people got very high accuracy with high R square value for prediction of COVID-19 confirmed cases. And this paper is published in Elsevier. I think Elsevier is not that much easy to publish. So very high standard journals. So Science Direct. So these people publish in the Elsevier journal. This is available in online also, so you can find complete paper and how these people derived these regression models and how they calculated AB values, that means slope as well as coefficient, And if you are looking for any resources for learning these concepts, so you can go for a data science show. Like that, we have different YouTube channels. So there we can find more data about these regression models and data science algorithms and machine learning algorithms, all those things, because it's a huge concept. So one concept understanding only will take sometimes 2-3 days also. And these are all the data sets available. I already told you, our world in data, you can find exactly COVID-19 cases, and GitHub, Toggle, we can find even Python code also. You can go to these data sets and repositories, you can find all those things. And this is the conclusion. We discussed what is the traditional programming and machine learning programming, and what is the machine learning model, and what is the difference between regression and classification. Regression means prediction is continuous data. Classification means binary classification or categorical values. And what is the applications of regression and what are the types of regression? There we discussed in-depth intuition of linear regression by using sum of squares of error is minimum, and all those graphical representations we discussed. And also we discussed how to find the constants in the regression model. That is very, very important. Why very, very important? You can develop your own regression model for any data set based on this concept. And also we discussed examples of regression model, and we discussed how to evaluate regression model by using MSE. Low MSE indicates more accurate. R-square value also we evaluated. High R-square indicates the regression model is best fit. And also we discussed one research paper there how they predicted COVID number of cases by using linear regression model with high R-square value 0.97. They got accuracy by using linear regression model. And also we discussed what are the resources for learning these data science algorithms. We have huge number of algorithms. So we discussed one algorithm, the in-depth intuition with application. So like that, we have different algorithms, maybe classification or forecasting. So you can go through that different materials. Based on that, you can learn. So this is a brief summary what we discussed in today's session. So if any questions, you can ask me. So I'm ready to answer for that. At least you got over you what is actual, because most of the time regression model, if you take a plus bx and ab values are formula, you can see any textbook or materials, no one will derive that ab values, and what is the concept based on what concept we got ab values also we don't know. But today's session explained clearly based on what concept we derived ab values, based on that how to make a best fit regression line. The concept is very simple. The sum of squares of error should be minimum. Because the error is minimum, then that is the best fit regression line. So if you have any queries from your side, ask me, I will explain. Hello, sir. Hello.
Sir, 1 second.
Are you able to hear me, madam?
Hello, sir.
Sir, are you able to hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. Hear me, sir.
Yeah. If any questions, audience can ask participants.
Dear participants, feel free discuss with Professor Dr. J. Somsekhar, sir. Any queries?
Sir, Namaskar. This is Satyamurthy, sir. While we are evaluating equation, you said while evaluating the regression equation, sir, of course, you said mean square error must be.
Sir, your voice is disturbing, sir.
Is it okay, sir, now?
No, not able.
Is it okay, sir, now?
From your side.
Is it okay now, sir? Sir, while explaining, you said about the mean square error value should be minimum,
Hello,
sir. Sir, while evaluating the regression equation, you said about the mean square value.
Your voice is not clear, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tell me, sir. Now I am able to hear.
You said about the mean square error value should be very minimum, sir. Then only you can.
Yes, sir. Very less.
When compared to the regression coefficient and MSE, which should we take, sir? Or both the things are measurable?
In general, sir, for regression kind of things, we used to take in general R square value more. Why means R square is related with correlation coefficient, which this correlation coefficient we already used in even derivation of that regression line also. So R square is more accurate evaluation measure when compared to MSE. MSE is a common measure used for classification, even for prediction, all those things. But R square is exclusively used for regression lines, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So try to look for R square value, whenever R square is very high, there is a perfect correlation between values of dependent variable and independent variable, as well as prediction and actual data points.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So because of evaluation, I give both. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome, sir.
Hi, Dr. Someshwar. Thank you for a wonderful lecture that you have. I just have one question. That what are the various software that you're using for running the regression?
Regression, we can use Python programming, madam. It's
So
very
the one
simple.
that you have used, the one that you have used, is it was that on Python?
Yes, ma'am. This is Python, man. Python.
Because the only problem, the reason that I'm asking is this, that I come from almost like a non-computing background. And the problem that I feel in Python is that it's script based. So the moment there is a change in a comma or a semicolon, it generates an error.
Yes, ma'am.
So how
even
to come
you
up,
can use R language also suitable for the statistical models, ma'am, especially R programming language.
But
so why we will prefer Python? Why we prefer Python means for visualization, we can generate graphs easily, madam, like that regression graphical representations and also data charts, all those things. We have some standard functions are available. So inbuilt functions, based on that we can generate easily. When come to the R also we can do, but Python is more flexible for us computer science programming students.
Right. And how about like the business one? Is it going to be like the Stata or SPSS? That's the only one, or will you suggest some script-based programming as well?
In general, we prefer Python or R. These two only. We even as per our syllabus also, but we have to see, madam. I provided some of the resources, now, madam. There we can find exactly, madam. Still more.
Okay.
Because for students as well as research point of view, we will see Python programming.
Right. Right. Okay. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you,
sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
That regression line and curve fitting, somebody saying for will use for some distributions, uniform, exponential, gamma, variable. The distribution also we can use for fitting the curve like that, sir. What is the difference between these regression line and curve fitting, sir? That distributions.
Distributions. Actually, when you go for distribution, so for example, if you take binomial distribution, what we can call it a Poisson or normal distribution. So that is not for data sets. That is useful especially for the finding the value based on the given data. For example, tossing of coins, or maybe some data available for let us assume number of accidents, etc. So for that we can make a equation, and based on that we can find. But regression model is for forecasting. So for data sets, we can't apply directly binomial distribution or Poisson distribution or normal distribution. So regression model is perfect suitable for data set. Based on the data set training, immediately we can go for forecasting. Of course, binomial, these things are used for discrete data set, like tossing of coins, throwing of dice, such type of applications. It's very, very suitable. A normal distribution means continuous data. It's very suitable, sir. But we are talking about data science and data science, so that distributions are difficult to apply for derivation of these constants also.
Yes, sir. Can you give your contact details, sir, in chat box?
Sure, sir. I give to sir. After that, even mail ID also I will provide. So surely I will give, sir. Still one more session left. There I will explain one more classification, supervisory classification. Then after that I will provide, sir. Surely.
Thank you, sir. Nice presentation, sir.
Thank you, sir. Please, those who attend, try to attend afternoon session. There I will explain one supervisory classification. You can find number of applications based on that. I will show in-depth intuition like what I explained so far. So these things difficult to find in textbooks or materials. You can go through any textbooks, they won't give this much explanation. They will give directly one-page formula solution. But that is not useful for research point of view, or maybe if you want to do publication. So afternoon session, maybe 3 o'clock session, I will explain supervisory classification, in-depth intuition like this with application for COVID-19 or any other medical data also I will explain.
Sir, hi, sir. Sir, this is Fayaz Ahmed, sir.
Yeah, tell me, sir.
So how can we prepare research papers regarding data science, sir?
So data science, first we should know in what area you are going to do. So for example, I have to do in medical field.
Yes, sir. I'm going to do in machine learning.
medical data, sir. Medical data set.
No, sir. Machine learning. Machine learning, sir.
Machine learning. So
Okay,
first we have to choose on which area you are going to do, sir. Either medical field or maybe other fields, maybe image data,
Okay.
etc. After that, we have to choose the data set. For example, it may be structured data or unstructured data. Maybe unstructured data means image data sets. After finding data sets, we have to choose which algorithm is very suitable. So if we choose which algorithm is very suitable, then we have to go for development of that model. And also we should know background of that algorithm in depth. If you don't know background of algorithm in depth, difficult to make a model and difficult to understand what is happening exactly. Now I explained in depth. So now we understood what is happening background. If we don't know what is happening background, maybe we can publish, but we don't know what is happening background and we can't understand for future purpose. So that's why for each algorithm, we can understand what is the mathematical and statistical concept, and based on that, we can develop it. And we can go through more literature surveys, sir. Try to go for more literature surveys, sir.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Thanks.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello. Hello, sir.
Sir,
Hello,
is
sir.
audible, sir. Please feel discuss.
I'm not able to hear, sir.
Sir, I think
Okay,
for
sir.
your steaming
After
problem,
the
sir.
after
Questioner.
afternoon session, we'll discuss.
Yeah,
we
sir.
have one
sir.
more session is left. We'll go for
Dear
lunch, sir. 2
participants,
o'clock.
next session is started. Will start 3 o'clock. The same link platform. Okay, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, sir.
We will meet 3 o'clock, sir.
Yes, sir. 3 o'clock will start, sir. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Dear participant, is will start next session 3 o'clock. Join. Already post the chat box. Already post. Dear participant, thank you for very much for percent of listening. Today's afternoon session start at 3 p.m. Kindly join, sir. Thank you. Thanks, ma'am. Sir, Som, sir. Dr. Somsagar, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.